Hello all. Today I will be discussing about ArrayList and how this ArrayList works in Java. So basically ArrayList converts a list of array objects into it converts a list of an array objects into a list type of collection. So list is a collection framework, it is interface, and let me explain this with a project in Eclipse. So my Eclipse is already open. Let me create a new project, file new, and maybe other, and say Java project. Let me click next. Let me name the project as resizable array. Resizable array. Next, finish. Now the thing is something like this, that suppose we can do this in, okay, let me make a class first. I'll be having only one method, so it will be named as resizable array. That is the name of the class, and it is having a public static void main, a main function within it. Now let me clear out the commenting line, and if I say that list for generic type, I am using integer for the type safety, and the name of the list will be list equals to Arrays.asList, and within that we can pass some array elements. It is of integer type, so let me pass 12, then 31, 23, 45, and then 66. Suppose this is the, now it is showing some error because it is not being able to recognize this list. What from I can get the how can I recognize this list? Java.util.start, it is having the all the instructions regarding it. So it will tell the Java compiler regarding the list interface. Now if I want to print it, I can easily print it by writing something like this, list dot for each loop, and it will be taking one element at a time and then printing it with sysout. Let me clear out the new line section, and p followed by n space, so the separator would be something like double colon. Okay, fine. It's still showing some error. Let me check it out. There will be another braces closing. Now if I run the program, look at the console how it run as Java application. So it is showing 12, 51, 23, 42, 45 and 66. Now the problem with this list collection interface is that ArrayList converts this array of characters, and converts them to a list, and converts them to a list, but the problem is that it is not resizable. So by resizable I mean that if I say that list.add, and then I say, so suppose 21, this won't work, this will be throwing an unsupported exception. So let me run the program. See, unsupported operation. Now to add this particular element to a list, all we need to do is that we have to implement this list with an array list. That is the interface, and then making an object with the class. So list integer equals to new array list, and this pass of this character to make a modifiable list of objects. So I will have to write new array list, and the generic time is from Java 1.8 onwards. You don't need to write it again about the integer. Now this particular thing is acceptable. So if I run as Java application, it will be reflected. So see, 21 is added to the last of the element. So so far we have learned that ArrayList takes a list of array element and converts them to a collection, list collection. But this list collection is a non-modifiable collection object, so you cannot add or perform any adding operation with this list object. Now, while discussing arrays and list, let me discuss another topic, that would be we'll be working on a custom object, and then we'll be filtering out that particular object, custom object. So let me make a new class, and that name of the class will be student, and maybe the package should be org.ss, suppose. Finish, and let me move this resizable array into that particular package. It made a copy, so let me delete this one. Fine. So let me declare student. So it will be having a string of name and an integer of role, and also it will be having a name, role, and maybe string address. Now, to set a value to this particular object, we'll be requiring a constructor. So the constructor will be refactor, okay, not refactor, references, no, it is under validate, debug, covers, okay, so source, fine, this is a source. We have to generate a constructor using field. So this will be used to instantiate, this student object with some values. We'll be also requiring some getter and setter to get the value of a particular variable. So says generate getter and setters. So suppose I am select all. So what this getter and setters will do is that if we are making an object of the student class, say suppose obj, then we can write that obj.getRole. So getter and setter is to set the values individually, and also we will be requiring a blank constructor. So constructor using field, constructor from scope, fine. And also we will be requiring a toString method if we want to print all of the student objects. If we create a student object, and if you want to print it, we will be requiring a toString method. So I will be moving to generate toString to print the name of all those objects. So far so good. Now let me move to resizable array, and now let me comment out all these sections, all these lines, and this one too, and also this one. Now we'll be making an object of this particular student object. So we'll be having list. So let me name it as ArrayList, and it will be having a student type as a variable. Let me create an object equals to new ArrayList, and here it is. Fine. Now let me instantiate this student object with some values. So obj, okay, not obj. So so we'll be having some values inside this obj using this student. So student equals to new student. So it will be obj dot profile. So obj dot add new student, and inside that we will be passing, the first one is the string. So the name will be suppose Kiran. The second parameter is the, let me go to student. So it is having one string value, one integer value, and one address. Fine. So first, so the roll number will be 12, and the address will be suppose Lilua. This is one set of object. In a similar fashion, we will be adding as a few more objects. Control C, Control V, Control V. Let me paste a few lines of code, and let me change the names. So from Kiran I will be setting to Ramesh. From 12 I will be setting it to 91, and the location would be suppose Rishra, maybe Vinod. he is residing from Belur. Okay, so below, and also Ochinto, and he will be having a value of 7, maybe from Kolkata. Ajay, no, that's a big roll number. Suppose he is having roll number of 11 and the location is from Moto. And the last one is Shamon, and his roll number is 13 and he is from Shodhpur. If I want to print all the element of this particular obj, we already have this toString method. So obj dot for each, now p, and then sys out, and it will be p. Let's see how it looks. So resizable array is still showing some error. Okay, so what the error might be? Remove argument to match student. Okay, so remove argument to match student. So it's showing some error. Student is having name, role, address. I think it should work. Okay, the error is gone. I didn't save the file student.java, that was the problem. So run as Java application. So see, it's printing. So this printing is being shown because I have used the toString method. So suppose I want to filter out the data. I want to filter, say suppose whose roll number is greater than, say suppose 13, whose value is greater than 13. So obj, I need to convert it to a stream of object, and it would filter p dot get roll, the roll number of which is greater than 15, and it will be stored inside. It will be stored inside a new arrow. Suppose, so I will be again declaring ArrayList, and it is having student, and it will be named as child equals to new ArrayList. So this child will be having this particular thing. Still showing some error because I didn't close the line with a semicolon. So still there is some error, filter. Okay, so obj.stream, okay, so child equal to obj.stream, then filter, and it is child.add. Okay, so what this might be? So the line should be something like this. Okay, so the line should be not something like child equals to no. So obj.stream filter, and then I will be saying I'll be getting each object and then I'll be doing an iteration, so for each, and then I'll be adding it to say the objects are inside P, and then it will be added to child dot add, this P will be added. I think the program would work fine for now. So I'll be saying that child, let me make a differentiate these two lines, and the child object is as follows. So I'll be saying that, say so I'll be saying something like okay, so child dot for each, and it will be printing this particular line, and it will be printing something which has values which is greater than. Let me save the file, let me run it one more time. See, so the roll number whose is greater than 15. So what we have is greater than 15 is 13, 11, 7, 33, 20, 12. Okay, so 13, 7, 11, 7, 33, 21. So greater than 15 is 20. Greater than 15, 13, 11 will be ruled out, 7 will be ruled out. So greater than 15 is 33 and 21. So this is not something so much intuitive, but this is the practice session. So what I basically did is that I showed you that arrays as list, what it does. It basically converts, it takes in arrays, it feeds on arrays and converts to a collection, a list collection. Now if I am saying that it is a list, I am not implementing, then this list is a unmodifiable, that is we cannot add or remove any, we cannot add any more element to this list object. Let me also try whether we are not being able to add any object, whether we are being able to remove some object. So let me select all of this and comment it out, and let's see if I am being able to remove one item. Let me also check that part also. So say suppose list.add 21, not add, remove, and one value, so suppose 31. Let's see whether this works fine or not. Then finally let me print out the array. Let me run the program, run as Java application. No, index out of bound. So remove is, so if I using remove, I will be requiring to the name of that index. So the index is maybe 0, 1, 2, the index is 2. Let me save the file and run the program one more time. Run as Java application. Okay, so 12, 31, 2, 0, 1, 2. Second is 23. Okay, 23 is being good. So we have learned that ArraysList converts a list of array, or it takes a list of array element and converts to a list. That is all right. That is all right with it. But it cannot add. It is not modifiable list. Apart from that, we did a problem walkthrough on filter objects. So we will be converting an array list to a stream of object, and finally we will be applying the filter on it to filter out some data based on some particular condition, and then we saved it to a new object, new array list kind of object, and the name of that object was child. So this is more or less a practice session for me. Google yourself a bit to learn more about the Java functions like add, remove, and other collection framework. So this is not a summarized video. I am practicing along. So I was trying to make to develop a new kind of project, a new kind of problem scenario out of my own without taking any reference from the internet. So that's something like this pretty much about it. In later point of time, I will be taking a deep dive into the internet and reading the problem statement and making a more fruitful and summarized program on summarized thing on some, the programs which has some meaning. This doesn't have any meaning. This is basically a practice session. Pardon me for my English and my fumbling around. Hope this helps you in some way. Thank you all for taking out your time in looking into this video. Happy coding. Till next time. See you next time. Bye.